right, thank you all. Thank you all for sticking with us today, and welcome to our third session. This one is titled "Tools in Your Toolbox," and what we are going to be doing today is going through some common features in Sage that aren't so commonly used. And so, joining me today in my presentation is Lisa Brewer, who was just on the last one with you all as well. Lisa is a senior consultant with us, and my name is Jeff Stout. I am the Sage practice manager here at Oasis. And what we have in store for you guys today, well, actually a little bit before that, same housekeeping slide. We'll have that spin to win at the end and see if Caroline can get a 3 for 3 going here today on that Amazon gift card. But what we have in store for you all today is we're going to take a look at 7 different items. We're going to do a quick dive into Sage Intelligence, Paperless Office, Mobility for Barcode, and then I'm going to hand this off to Lisa to take a look at Business Insights Explorer, dashboards, visual process flows, and Jody Patterson is going to bring us home with a little bit of a review and discussion on Sage CRM. So we have a lot of things that we're going to be digging into here today. So like every other session, we'll probably be going through a little bit quickly, but a lot of stuff to take a look at. Okay. So first off, we're going to jump right in and we're going to take a look at Sage Intelligence reporting and Sage Intelligence. What is Sage Intelligence? Okay. Sage Intelligence is a BI reporting tool, BI and reporting tool that comes with your Sage 100 system. And what does it do? It utilizes Excel for your reporting. So utilizing a very common tool that most everybody understands how to use. It does come with pre-built report templates. So what this allows you to do is have a very quick start, okay? When you're generating reports, there's a lot of stuff that's already there that makes it easy for someone to get started with Sage Intelligence. An additional item that you may need that doesn't come standard with Sage 100 is a connector module. And all this really allows you to do is if you have multiple Sage companies and you want to do a consolidated report view, you would use that connector module. But it also allows you to connect to other data sources. So if you have another system that you utilize and you want to connect via ODBC, SQL connection or something like that, you can use Sage Intelligence for that to set up those connections to that other system. So I'm just going to jump in real quick. And in your Sage 100 system, when you go to your Sage Intelligence menu, you'll see 2 options. One's a report viewer and a report manager. I just have report manager open here, okay? And they are exactly as they sound. Report viewer is only to view reports, but a report manager is where you would go to create your reports in Sage Intelligence. Now, there's a lot of these things that are, again, pre-built. I have a folder here for myself, Jeff's reports, and so that's where I'm gonna focus a little bit today. And what I want to do is just show you all a couple of the types of things that you can do in Sage Intelligence. And then I'm going to create real quickly a little report just so you can see how quick it is to generate something in Sage Intelligence. The first thing we're going to take a look at, and I already have these reports open and run out because some of these reports, depending on the amount of data, could take a minute and a half, couple minutes to generate in Excel, depending on the amount of data that we're loading in. So I've already run these out so that we can just take a look at the data. But this is a standard dashboard report, a dashboard analysis report. And this is a standard template that comes with Sage Intelligence. So you can see the types of things that we can do here. And again, this is all based on data that comes from your Sage system. And there's nothing that you need to do to manipulate or configure that data load in Sage Intelligence. It's already provided with the application. Okay, so here's a copy of an analysis, or again, a dashboard report. Also want to show you a consolidated financial statement. So this is one that I had set up that has a couple different companies, okay, that I pulled from Sage with current period information, year-to-date information, and then we consolidated those reports over here. And again, just to kind of show you a little bit on the backside, and maybe how the sausage is made a little bit, you'll see that if I click on unhide my sheets down here, there are a lot of hidden sheets. This is where the data that comes from Sage Intelligence is loaded. It's loaded to hidden sheets. So what we're doing is we're actually using formulas to grab the data that Sage loads in these reports. Okay, so I think the next thing that I want to do is I do want to show you how to generate one real quickly here. And what I want to do, maybe the simplest thing, is I want us to generate a quick little gross margin report. So when I load Sage Intelligence in Excel, there are some add-ins that are loaded. There's a BI tools add-in and a report manager add-in, and that's where this information in my task pane comes from, is the report manager add-in that Sage Intelligence loads. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look at some of the lists that I have, and I'm going to grab my main accounts from Sage 100, and I'm just going to drag those over here. So these are all the main accounts that I had. I could have got the chart of accounts, whatever. But I'm just going to go with the main accounts. And since I'm doing a gross margin report, I'm just going to clean this account list up a little bit. I'm going to get rid of all my balance sheet accounts. Okay, just real quick, you just come down, highlight those. We'll delete those, and I'll also get rid of all of my expense accounts. So all I need for this gross margin report is my revenue and my cost of goods accounts. I also don't need this info over here, so I'm just going to grab that. We'll delete that information. And now what I've got is I've got my account number and my description. Now my column here is text, so I'm going to change it to general so that my formulas will work. And now I'm just going to start building my report, and I'm going to do that from the formulas in my task pane here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab actual year-to-date balances. You'll see some of the other things I can grab, but I'll grab actual year-to-date and I'll pull that over. And you'll see there's a formula, GL actual year-to-date. Sage Intelligence does introduce a few new formulas in Excel. So I like to always do this, especially when we're showing folks through the function arguments button here, how you would build that formula out. So I need a GL link, which is my account number. So I'm going to say that's going to be A4, okay? And my year is going to be C1, and my period is going to be C2. All right, and now I hit OK on that, and you'll see now I pull a value in. Now this is a negative value. It's a credit balance that comes in, so I want to see that as a positive. So I'm going to take that, multiply it by -1, and then I could format that if I want to dollar, and then I could just drag that down all the way to my revenue, into my revenue line. We're going to insert a couple lines here to make this look nice. We'll go ahead, and then right now all I'm doing, as you see, is I'm just using Excel tools, copying this formula down after I built it, to just copy this information down into other cells in my Excel spreadsheet. So if you're familiar with Excel, okay, this should be, it's a quick and easy tool that you can utilize here, because once you pull the data in and kind of get your report started, you're just using Excel tools, okay? Just using the tools in Excel to build that report out, okay? So I can come down here and then do my gross margin, okay? And very quickly, you'll see there, just using standard Excel tools and Sage Intelligence, I'm able to build that report out. Now I can also then, based on periods, if I change period information up here, you'll see the report data will change based on the period that I have. And the way this is set up in Sage Intelligence is if I save this report template, and that's the important part, this is an Excel template. Once I save that information, this report will populate with the same format every single time that I run that, okay? So that's a quick look at Sage Intelligence. We're gonna go next in our list is we're going to take a look at Paperless Office. Hopefully a lot of you all are already familiar with Paperless Office and use that to store some of your documents in the system and forms and things like that. But also we can use it's a tool that allows us to do emailing and things like that of forms of customers, vendors, and employees. So I'm just going to quickly take a quick look and show a little bit in Paperless Office. And again, hopefully a lot of us are already familiar or maybe using some portions of Paperless Office. So when we take a look at Paperless Office, we'll just take a quick look at a couple setup options. In our Paperless Office options, it allows us to set how we're going to enable electronic delivery of documents and also that storage of those documents. So here I have only my forms and journals that are being saved, or which I have electronic delivery on. Okay, and then underneath this in setup will allow me to set up very specific things to these items. So journal and register maintenance, I can say where items are going to be stored on the server. Okay, so you have your storage spot out here. I could also take a look, maybe at some other forms, and see where those are stored as well. Also, from email address if I'm allowing electronic delivery for that. All right.
Hey, Jeff,
so
you've got about 2.5, 3 minutes.
All right. So I want to show real quick on this how to generate a document for, we're going to bypass that and we're going to go right into looking at something on a vendor record to show how to email an item. Okay. I've already got a PO generated for a vendor out here. Okay. And so what I want to show here is that when I look at a vendor and a vendor maintenance or inquiry, if I look at their POs out here on the PO tab and highlight that, I have an option here on the right-hand side, third one down, for my paperless viewer. Okay. When I pull that paperless viewer up here, I am looking at the documents just for this particular vendor. All right, so it's a little different view than if I go into the Paperless Office viewer where I'm seeing everything. This is only showing for this particular vendor. And if I needed to view that document, I could highlight it. I could view the PDF over here, but I also have a nice little email icon where I could choose to electronically deliver that document. I also have an option down here where I could edit that message. So if I want to put something personal in there to this vendor. And so what I'm showing you here is kind of and after the fact, if I get a call later, vendor customer says I didn't get that document, you also have the ability to email these documents through your purchase order printing process. There's an option there to electronically deliver them as well. Okay. So that's a little bit on our paperless office. And so last thing I want to show you before we hand this off to Lisa is I want to show you mobility for Barcode. And I'm going to do this. Mobility for Barcode is a nice little mobility tool that comes with Sage 100 that allow you to do certain things. But one that's kind of out of the box with Sage 100 is that we do have the ability to do inventory physical counts. And so what I'm going to do, I'm sharing an app that's on my cell phone right now. Okay. And I have the ScanCo Mobility app here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get logged into my ScanCo Mobility app. Okay. And I'm going to log in, and you're seeing that's logging into Sage and the company ABC, and you'll see some of the options that I have on the app. Okay. And one of the things I can do here, I'm just going to show you off physical count. We'll go into physical count. And now I'm doing this on my cell phone where I have to type this information in, but if you had a device, an iOS or an Android device that had a scanner, you could obviously scan information. When I click on that, you could scan, or I'm just going to do a lookup since I don't have a scanner, and I'm going to choose an item. This is live data that is pulling right from my Sage database. Here you'll see the scan text option, but I'm just, again, do a lookup, tell what bin those items are in, and then I could put those quantities in. Okay. So again, if you had a mobile device that had some sort of a scanning, you could be scanning your barcode for the item number for the bin and entering your quantities in. Once you've done your physical count on your mobile device, you could review it by hitting this little, what I did is I hit the little check mark. I'll go back, hit the little check mark button that was up here to review my items. Okay, and make sure everything looks okay. I could make adjustments or delete those if I needed to, if I misscanned something. And then once I'm done with that, I have the ability that I can either right here, okay, on the little up arrow, or if I go back to the main screen, right down here at the bottom, the little arrow will allow me to then load those up into Sage. Now I'm going to click that right now to show the process to get those in Sage. And it says you're about to apply those, and click yes to proceed. I'm going to say okay. Now it's going to give me a little warning. There's an easy import tool that runs in Sage that actually brings those items in that I don't have running at the moment, but those imports those into Sage and right into the physical count entry process. So the mobility for Barcode became available in Sage in version 2018. So it's a nice little tool to help out and kind of automate that physical count process. All right. That's what I had today. I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to Lisa and let her take you all for the next few items. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Hey, Jeff, can you stop sharing for me?
I did.
Got it. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. This is Lisa Brewer. Thank you all again for being here. I'm going to probably go through this like really quick. Let's get this screen shared here. And so what we're going to go through today is Business Insights Explorer and Business Insights Dashboard and some visual process flows. And so the first thing we're going to look at is Business Insights. Two different ways to access Business Insights directly from your modules menu. And then you also have the option underneath each module, there's an Explorer. And Explorer is just a kind of a quick exportable pre-built templates that you can make changes to. So here we're just going to open up a purchase order view. And this purchase order view, top section is header information, bottom section is detail information. So anything you would see on the lines tab in purchase order entry. Anything that you create here, you can export. We have export options here. The only information that will export is information that's in the top section. So what we want to do is we want to come up to view and do an open preview. That compresses your header and your detail information into the top section. A right click on any of those column headers lets you access the column settings. We can uncheck anything that we do not need in that top section. And then also here, there's an add. In that add, that gives us other data tables that we can utilize and pull other information from. So for this example, we're going to create a view / report / spreadsheet that is going to show us what we've invoiced versus what we've received. So just a quick way to do that, I'm just going to hit Q on my keyboard to get me down to the quantity. So there's a quantity ordered, a quantity received. I'm going to double click quantity received. I'm going to jump back into that add, expand that detail section, and again, hit the Q on my keyboard to get to my quantity invoice. And I'm just going to click OK. So if I scroll over here to the right-hand side, these are the two fields that I just selected to add into this. So once I've created this view, I can then come up and I can save this setting, and I can save it as a public setting or a private setting. So if it's private, obviously only I can see it. If I save it as a public setting, it's out there for other users to see. Now, this is also based on permissions, if you can create public and private settings and if you can view private settings. Once you've saved a setting, here about in the middle part of the screen here, there's a setting. And if we click that drop down, that's going to be your public and private settings based on the view that you're in. So if we just go back and double click standard, that's the standard. We come back into this drop down, double click one of those. We can actually, let me go back to Lisa. We can also group. So this gray section here allows us to group with just a drag and a drop. So if we wanted to group by item code, we just drag that item code up into that gray section, and that gives us a group. We can also filter, just like we can in Excel. We click this drop down to choose one specific item, or there's a filter builder that allows us to create filters, and the filters is going to be based upon the column headers that you pre-selected. Once you've selected those filters, you click apply. And then again, we can take those and we can export those directly out to Excel. I think I can. Some of these are going to run slower than others, depending on what view that you select. If you're choosing a history view, give it just a little bit of time to run. In this bottom section, it's going to say press escape to cancel. That means it's running. And it's attempting to pull up that information. Once it pulls that information, you're going to see a total number of rows. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to look at a different dashboard. So dashboards are users User and role specific, there are some setup options that need to be performed beforehand. So those dashboard options allow you to determine how many segments you're going to see. If you want a different company name, a company logo, you're going to want to do that. And then there is a wizard, so that takes you directly through exactly how to set these up based on the different users. So if we choose Lisa, am I going to allow Lisa to make changes to the dashboard? The left-hand side of the screen are pre-built dashboards. And just to the right of some of these, there's options. So I just mentioned that there is an actual dashboard option. That is that's kind of the rule. This is how we're going to set things up. But individual dashboards allow you to make some changes to those. So here, if I choose the vendors, I can go into options and I can determine how many lines I want to see or how many pie segments that I want to see. So this is, like if you work in AP, maybe you want to see like a quick glance at your open payables, a cash requirements, your top vendors, your top items. So depending on what your actual role is, your position is obviously going to depend on which actual pre-built dashboard that you're going to want to see. So I've got just a handful of things here. So I'm just going to go ahead and click finish, and then I'm going to come here and choose to display my dashboard. So my dashboard is going to pop up over here. And what I can do is I can drill into these. So there's different reports. If you hover over your pie graphs, your bar charts, you're going to see the different information that's laid out below there. So if I was to select this cash requirements report, it's going to just populate my cash requirements report. So it's a one-click access. If I scroll down just a little bit here, my top vendor list. So if I hover over these, Container Corporation, Stevens Supply, but if I come down, I can actually single click on one of those vendor hyperlinks, and that's going to take me directly into a vendor inquiry screen. So that is
2-minute warning.
Got it. Visual process flows. Visual process flows, these, so we're going to look at entry and invoice. So if you wanted to pre-build a process flow, we can pre-build a process flow. This allows new users to come into Sage. These are pre-built. They're another single click option. So here we've got different reports that pertain to sales order entry and invoicing. We've got different inquiry screens. We've got different printing tasks. So we single click enter order. That's going to take us directly in to sales order entry. All of those pre-built process flows are listed under visual process flows. And again, you do have some setup options there, and we do have a way to go in and edit what is seen here to make it more specific to what you need to use it for. Okay, that was a lot, very fast, a lot of information. Jody, all yours.
Thanks, Lisa. Please stop sharing. There you go. And let me get to my correct screen. Okay, thanks, Lisa. And we're going to jump straight into Sage CRM. This graph represents global sales trends for Sage CRM for the past 5 years. The purple line demonstrates new customers implementing Sage CRM, up to 20% in both 2020 and 2021. So you may ask, why such a big increase over the past 2 years? Because communication and visibility are more important than ever for companies to succeed in today's market. So why are companies choosing Sage CRM? First, Sage CRM is included with all Sage 100 subscriptions. That's right, you have a single user license for Sage CRM already available to you. Second, it's mobile, accessible by a browser on any web-enabled device. Companies use Sage CRM as a repository for storing and sharing communications and documents. It's not just for sales teams. Sage CRM can be used to manage interactions, jobs, projects, or customer service issues. Sage CRM provides non-accounting staff visibility into Sage 100 data. And Sage CRM offers a fantastic Outlook integration, making it easy to log emails and attachments directly from Outlook. This is a sample of how one client manages customer service cases related to their accounts. Cases can be used to manage RMAs, product quality questions, invoice or order disputes. The sky is really the limit. Because Sage CRM is a development platform, you choose how to profile companies, contacts, and cases with customizable stage names, which can then be filtered and sorted to quickly access open issues, who is working on them, all with complete visibility to the rest of the team. Here we have a sample of a customer service case screen. You will note that the fields are completely customizable. You can rename and create additional fields to profile cases to your needs, as well as use Sage CRM's powerful workflow engine to define rules around how cases are managed or opportunities are progressed through the sales cycle. Sage CRM users can have visibility into Sage 100 data. Again, you choose what non-accounting users have access to. Perhaps you just want the sales team to see summary information, such as year-to-date sales, last order date, or total outstanding AR. Or you can grant access to sales order details, open orders, or history. The Sage CRM to Sage 100 integration is bidirectional. Changes made in either system can be synced to the other side. You can even create quotes or orders in Sage CRM with full visibility to Sage 100's inventory and stock level. Once promoted, the orders feed into Sage 100's sales order module. And last but not least is the amazing integration with Microsoft Outlook. This Outlook plugin recognizes companies and contacts when they exist in Sage CRM and delivers Sage CRM data in this panel. From here, you can log communications in CRM, complete with attachments, or create new companies, contacts, leads, or cases directly from Outlook. We offer 3 implementation options for Sage CRM. The Quick Start package is often the best fit for our Sage 100 customers. Quick Start has an 8-week timeline and focuses on getting your staff comfortable with the fundamental features to profile companies and people, navigation around the application, and using Sage CRM in conjunction with Outlook. If you would like to learn more about Sage CRM, please contact me directly at jody@oasisky.com. And now this concludes our tools in the toolbox presentation. That felt a little bit like speed dating, but before you go, we're going to have a quick poll and then spin the wheel to see who is the Amazon gift card winner for this session. So please respond to the poll.
Okay, I can see people starting to answer the poll right now. It looks like we're at about 50% participation and going. So I'm going to let it run just a little bit longer here. And it is multiple choice. Okay.
So Falana, can we share out those poll results?
Sure can. Here you go.
Excellent. So this gives us an idea of which of those topics are most important to the clients. So thank you for your feedback, and let's go ahead and spin the wheel.
Okay, let me share my screen. Here we go. The most exciting moment. You should be able to see the wheel now. And let's see who's going to get this $25 Amazon gift card. Spin, 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 spin. Shannon C. And I believe that is Shannon Clark at Fiducial. Might have butchered that a little bit. Congratulations to Shannon. I'll get your gift card to you. Thanks, everybody. And I hope that we see you all at the next session, which is starting right about now, as soon as we hop off and start it. So see you
Thanks, everyone.
shortly.
Bye-bye. Thank you.